first US Open mixed doubles partnership with Felix Auger-Aliassime ended in the first round, but the Filipina star still has a major milestone ahead in New York. Eala and Auger-Aliassime fell to husband and wife tandem Gail Monfils and Elina Svitolina 1-4, 1-4 in
At Wimbledon, she made history as the first Filipino seeded in a Grand Slam. Now, just weeks later, that history is about to be rewritten. A Canadian star's withdrawal has pushed Alex Eala even closer to her highest seeding ever. And the tennis world is bracing for what she'll do next. At Wimbledon, Alex Eala made history simply by stepping onto the court as the number 29 seed. The first Filipino player to be seeded in a Grand Slam singles draw. She was already a pioneer. She was already rewriting the record books. But what happened in the weeks that followed has positioned her for something even bigger. The withdrawal of Canadian rising star Victoria Mboko has opened the door for Eala to receive an even higher seeding at the US Open. Mboko, the world no. 15, suffered a left knee injury at the Queen's Club Championships in London last month, an MCL tear from a slip and fall that derailed what had been an incredible season. The injury forced her to withdraw from Wimbledon and the National Bank Open, where she was set to defend her title from 2025. Now, she's also missing the US Open. One player's misfortune has become another player's opportunity. With Mboko out, Eala is projected to move up one more spot in the seeding order, number 18 to number 17. And the 17 seed would be her highest seeding in a Grand Slam, surpassing her number 29 at Wimbledon. The significance of this shift cannot be overstated. A top 17 seed means Eala will likely face unseeded players in the first two rounds, giving her a clearer runway toward a deep run. She could avoid the top seeds until at least the third round, where she could face a player seeded between number 9 and number 16. The withdrawal came at a critical moment. Eala had just climbed to a career-high no. 18 in the WTA rankings after an impressive North American hardcourt swing that included her historic Washington Open title and a fourth-round run in Toronto. Her seeding boost, combined with her ranking momentum, has created what analysts are calling a perfect storm for a deep run at Flushing Meadows. The US Open seeding is expected to be announced 3 days before the main draw fires off on August 30. At the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in Flushing Meadows, New York. And the tennis world is waiting to see just how high Eala will climb. The numbers that flashed across Alex Eala's phone screen told a story of history in the making. The WTA rankings update had arrived, and what it revealed left the tennis world speechless. Eala had climbed to a career-high number 18 in the world, collecting 2,281 ranking points. She didn't just climb, she surpassed. With that ranking, Eala officially became the highest-ranked Southeast Asian woman in WTA singles history. She had surpassed the previous mark of no. 19, jointly held by Indonesia's Yayuk Basuki and Thailand's Tamarine Tanasagarn. A milestone that had stood for decades had finally been broken. Eala celebrated the achievement with characteristic humility. Turned 18 twice in this lifetime, she wrote over a screenshot of her WTA profile on Instagram stories. The first time had come on her 18th birthday in May 2023. The second arrived 3 years later, when a number beside her name confirmed just how rapidly she had ascended in professional tennis. "You've been dumped," she added in a follow-up post, where fellow tennis stars like Coco Gauff and Eva Jovic chimed in. The rise from number 20 to no. 18 was built on an impressive North American hardcourt swing. Eala's historic Washington Open title had earned her 500 ranking points, her largest single tournament haul, propelling her from no. 28 to number 20. She followed that title run with a round of 16 appearance at the Canadian Open and a round of 32 showing in Cincinnati. Each tournament added points to her total, and each victory pushed her closer to the milestone. But the rankings update was only half the story. With Canadian star Victoria Mboko withdrawing from the US Open due to a left knee injury, Eala is projected to move up one more spot in the seeding order, from number 18 to number 17. A no. 17 seed would be her highest seeding in a Grand Slam, surpassing her historic number 29 at Wimbledon, where she became the first Filipino player ever seeded in a Grand Slam singles draw. The numbers tell the story of her transformation. March, number 32 in the world July. Wimbledon, number 29 seed August, number 18 in the WTA rankings US Open projected, no. 17 seed, the trajectory is undeniable. Eala has gone from a promising talent to one of the highest seeded players in the final Grand Slam of the season. And with the US Open draw set to be announced, the tennis world is waiting to see just how far she can go. But what truly matters isn't the number beside her name, it's what she does with it. The numbers behind Alex Eala's projected number 17 seed at the US Open are staggering. But what truly matters isn't the number beside her name, it's what that number means for her path through the draw. The significance of a top 17 seed cannot be overstated. As a projected top 17 seed, Eala will likely face unseeded players in the first 2 rounds, giving her a clearer runway toward a deep run. She could avoid the top seeds until at least the 3rd round, where she would be projected to face a player seeded between number 9 and number 16. A no. 17 seed would be her highest seeding in a Grand Slam, surpassing her historic number 29 at Wimbledon, where she became the first Filipino player ever seeded in a Grand Slam singles draw. The path is more favorable than ever. With a win in the first round, Eala would gain 70 points and potentially climb to number 17 in the live rankings. Reaching the 3rd round would push her closer to the world's top 15, while a magical title run with 2,000 points would have her knocking at the world's top 10. The US Open seeding is expected to be announced 3 days before the main draw begins on August 30 at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in Flushing Meadows, New York. But the seeding is not just about the draw, it's about the respect. Eala is now officially the highest-ranked Southeast Asian woman in WTA Tour history, surpassing Indonesia's Yayuk Basuki and Thailand's Tamarine Tanasugarn, both of whom reached a best ranking of no. 19. She celebrated the milestone with characteristic humility, turned 18 twice in this lifetime. She wrote over a screenshot of her WTA profile on Instagram stories. The message from the tennis world is clear. Number 17 is not a destination. It is a launching pad. And for Alex Eala, the launch is just beginning. The last time Alex Eala stepped onto the courts of Flushing Meadows, she was a wild card ranked number 75, still searching for her first Grand Slam main draw victory. This time, she arrives as a completely different player. The transformation is staggering. At the 2025 US Open, Eala stunned then world no. 15 Clara Tauson to become the first Filipino to win a Grand Slam main draw singles match in the Open era. She collapsed to the court in disbelief as the victory sank in. This year, she enters as a projected number 17 seed, a WTA 500 champion, and a player who has already made the 4th round of Wimbledon. The girl who once had to fight through qualifying just to reach a Grand Slam main draw is now a player that the tennis world expects to make deep runs. Her North American hardcourt swing has been nothing short of spectacular. A breakthrough WTA title at the Washington Open, where she defeated 4 top players en route to the championship. A round of 16 appearance at the Canadian Open in Toronto. A round of 32 showing in Cincinnati. Each tournament added to her ranking total. Each victory pushed her closer to the milestone of world no. 18, making her the highest-ranked Southeast Asian woman in WTA history. But it's not just the results that have changed, it's the mindset. She's on the cusp, said Greg Rusedski, the former US Open finalist. She's the first Filipina to make the 4th round of a major. I wouldn't be surprised if she's in the quarters or semis. She's that good. Rusedski highlighted Eala's mentality as her greatest weapon. Everybody can play, but it's a swagger, it's the belief, it's in between the ears, it's the intensity. She goes tick, 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 tick in all boxes. Rick Macci, the legendary coach who guided Serena and Venus Williams, has also weighed in. He praised Eala's clean ball striking, noting that the Philippine machine off both wings hits the ball oh so clean. Macci believes the US Open will show just how close Eala is to knocking on a Grand Slam door. He also identified her second serve as an area opponents will target, but noted that Eala plays the ball, so her game is more opponent-proof to go an extra mile. The Eala who returns to Flushing Meadows is not the same player who made her debut last year. She is a champion, a seed. A player who has beaten Olympic gold medalists, Grand Slam champions, and the world number 3. And she is ready to write the next chapter of her story in New York. Eala has already been named to Forbes Asia's 2026 30 Under 30 Entertainment and Sports list, recognized as the highest-earning Filipino tennis player of all time. She is projected to be seeded, 17 at the US Open, a 12-spot jump from her seeding at Wimbledon just weeks ago. With a win in the first round, she would gain 70 points and potentially climb to number 17 in the live rankings. Reaching the third round would push her closer to the world's top 15, while a magical title run would have her knocking at the world's top 10. But for Eala, the seeding is not just about the draw. It's about the respect. And the respect she has earned from the tennis world is unlike anything a Filipino player has ever experienced. The seeding is set, the draw is looming. And the tennis world has delivered its verdict. Alex Eala is the most dangerous player in the field. Rusedski, the 1997 US Open finalist and former world number 4, has been unequivocal in his assessment. I wouldn't be surprised if she's in the quarters or semis. She's that good. I think the mentality is second to none, Rusedski said on his podcast. He highlighted Eala's intensity as her greatest weapon. Everybody can play, but it's a swagger, it's the belief, it's in between the ears, it's the intensity. She goes tick, 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 tick in all boxes. Rusedski also noted that Eala thrives on the biggest stages. There's certain players who love walking on Arthur Ashe Stadium, who like it to play on the big stadiums, who want to be on the big stadiums. That's what I feel with Eala, that she wants to be there, and she will get her success because of all the work she does. Macci, the legendary coach who guided Serena and Venus Williams, has been equally effusive. Macci predicted that Eala would create a New York buzz on Arthur Ashe Stadium and praised her clean ball striking. The Philippine machine off both wings hits the ball oh so clean. The US Open will show us even more if she can knock on a Grand Slam door, Macci wrote on X. Macci also identified Eala's second serve as an area opponents will target, but noted that her playstyle makes her more opponent-proof. Players now will attack her second serve even though it has a tricky slow lefty curve. Matchups mean a lot with a certain style, but she plays the ball so her game is more opponent-proof to go an extra mile, Macci wrote. He believes her best surface is hard court and sees the US Open as a snapshot for her career. The warning is clear. Eala is ready, with her career-high number 18 ranking and a projected 17 seed. She enters the US Open with a clear path to the second week. The tennis world has been put on notice. Victoria Mboko's withdrawal from the US Open has pushed Alex Eala to a projected 17 seed, her highest seeding in a Grand Slam, surpassing her historic number 29 at Wimbledon. Eala has climbed to a career-high 18 in the WTA rankings, becoming the highest-ranked Southeast Asian woman in history. Rusedski predicts she could reach the quarterfinals or semifinals, calling her mentality second to none. Macci, the legendary coach of Serena and Venus Williams, believes Eala is ready to knock on a Grand Slam door. The field has been warned. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We bring you the biggest stories in tennis, drama, and emotion every single week. Don't miss what happens next.